It's been warm and dry, but the conditions are about to change, and that may be affecting the mountain bikers. Hi, I'm Kim MacDonald. You're watching the Weather Network, only because if they've been training in the dry, dusty weather and it changes over to the wet weather, yeah, they're going to have a different surface, so it could be tricky. Temperatures look like this. On Tuesday, Prince George, a hot spot, 32.3, Vancouver, 22.9. Here's something for you. Here's a little tidbit. Vancouver hadn't seen any rain since July 24th. And today, 0.2 millimeters. Yes, indeed. That's it. First rain in a long time. Hot day, Medicine Hat, 34.7 degrees. And these are the number of days above 30. So in the west, far more days than in the eastern half of the country, incidentally. 35 days in Kamloops, and Osoyoos has seen 40 days of 30 degrees or higher. And these, across the border, Windsor saw about 68 millimeters of rain. So enough to cause localized flooding, but not nearly the catastrophe that Detroit was dealing with. And we'll have more on that coming up in Force of Nature, by the way. Okay, so Tuesday, these were your temperatures across the east. Ottawa, 30.1 degrees. Ottawa on Thursday, it's only a couple of days from now, looking at a high of 16. That's it. 16 Celsius. I want to say that's not a mid-August high, but look at St. John, 16.8. You've been dealing with that temperature for a couple of days now. Sunshine in the morning for Halifax, 16 degrees. You're under high pressure, at least for another day. Nice day on Wednesday, 21 degrees. The rain moves in on Thursday. Temperatures start to warm up just a little bit on Friday, but for the most part, your long-range forecast is looking at low 20s. And Moncton, similar situation. A slow-moving low. You're going to escape it on Wednesday, but by Thursday, the rain moves in. Okay, coming up. Well, hail wasn't the big problem with the storms that rolled across Ontario and the ones we'll see again come Wednesday. It was more the heavy downpours. That's been a big story. So through the overnight, we still have a few thunderstorms expected, mostly non-severe. We're not expecting anything really wild to pop up through the overnight. Eastern Ontario as well is in that risk. This is not a watch or warning, just a risk. And this is the kind of rain we're talking about. So we could see extensive amounts of rain, especially in Eastern Ontario and Western Quebec. There are rainfall warnings in place. 50 plus millimeters not out of the question. So it's one thing to be a golfer and affected by the weather, but the actual golf course, that's a whole other ball of wax. Here's Mike Arsenal. So it hasn't been the greatest season for golfers so far this summer. June and July both saw more rain than what is average in the city of Toronto. And temperature-wise, June was about average, but July was just a little bit cooler than normal. Coming up, 22.4 degrees. That's close to seasonal. Not a bad day. We do have a few isolated showers in the long-range forecast, and the rain will get a little bit more intense as the week wears on, but not your Wednesday morning. No, sir. 17 degrees in the sunshine. We've got high pressure over the Maritimes in general. We still have that cloud cover, and the temperature's a little on the cool side for the Avalon, so that will continue. And then I'm going to move this way because we've got this big system that is pushing eastward, and this is the one that's dropping all the rain in Quebec, certainly dropping all the rain in Eastern Ontario. For example, take a look at Ottawa. Rain was coming down. Didn't really affect the temperature on Tuesday, though. It was 30 degrees, but the long-range forecast, not quite as warm. Rainfall warnings in place anywhere from Kingston to Cornwall, Ottawa included. There's the low pressure system that is actually responsible for it. It's going to be pushing eastward, and that's why it's dropping all of that rain. Coming up, top 5 most expensive floods. Okay, let's take a quick look at the country for the middle of the week. Here we go. We do have finally some wet weather for southern BC. Thunderstorms are possible in Alberta, including Calgary. Fair skies over much of Manitoba and northern Ontario, and then some heavy rain moving into. We did have thunderstorms that brought in some cases upwards of 40 millimeters of rain. 40 millimeters, not a huge amount of rain, but it is a huge amount of rain if it's in a short period of time, right? Nowhere for the rain to go, and then you get the localized flooding. Usually it dissipates pretty quickly, but that was the scene there. Temperatures on Tuesday, not bad, mid-20s. This will be it for warm weather for the remainder of the week. No more humidity either. Cold front has gone through. That's why we've been seeing the thunderstorms, a few more through the overnight hours in the eastern areas of the province. You know what I'm trying to say. And these are some of the totals so far. Ottawa could see a whole lot more than that, 22 millimeters. Toronto saw 24. Windsor, 80 millimeters, with 68 of that falling on Monday, incidentally. The heaviest rain in the southwest is over, still going to fall in the east, however. Coming up, thank you for this, Crystal Beach on the shores of Lake Erie. Getting some thunderstorm activity, had some severe weather on Tuesday. Wednesday, boy, this is a slow mover. It's great for the Maritimes because you're in the sunshine. It's holding, that high pressure is holding this low back, but it's not great for eastern Ontario, for western Quebec, because it means heavier rain in those areas. Montreal could see 50 millimeters. Same thing for Ottawa. It clears out in southern Ontario. Cool. I mean, it is cool. Northerly winds, temperatures in the low 20s in Toronto. And I just wanted to mention that in Ottawa, come Thursday, 16 for a daytime high. It'll start to warm up for the weekend, but still.